Hello everyone, and welcome to Ready City Crypt. I am, as always, your Dungeon Master, Harna, and we are late because we got caught up playing Baldur's Gate 3, and I'm not sorry. Well, the dog needed a walk, and she rolled in the fox shit. It's a whole thing.
There were several building events.
Yeah, the root cause of Baldur's Gate 3. I'm joined by my once real-life group, now far-away virtual fuckers. Let's start, apart from that one, let's start with the one next to me then.
Hi, I'm George. I play Atlas Moreau, the Owlin Druid, and I will pass it to Ryan because he looks like he's doing something.
No, I'm just playing around with the new settings on Roll20. Hello, I am Ryan. I am Cyrus, the ASMR Barbarian, and I will pass it to Anthony.
Hello, I am Anthony. I play Beros Darkhoof. I am a Satyr Rogue. I'll pass it on to Mary.
Hi, I'm Mary. I play Astra, the Tempest Cleric Ismar, and I will pass it on to William.
Hi, I'm Will. I'm playing Volga, the Jurgar Ranger, and I'll pass back to our DM.
The fact that
Who's
none of you
Nick?
pass it to Will when he was actually choking was hilarious. He was like, like a fully died, and you're like, I'm gonna pass it to Anthony, I think. I was like, no. All right.
I just
I
like
just
that.
saw Harry with
I just like that Mary called him William, and it made him forget his own name for a second there.
I was like, what am I in
I
trouble for?
am Will. Yes.
What am I in
Oh.
trouble for?
Did everyone else have that moment where they first saw Will.i.am's name like written down, and you were like, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah.
All righty.
Right, let me recover from the side of
Turns
that.
out he actually just talks like Yoda. Will I am.
That was gonna be his gimmick, and then he like panicked on his first performance,
See, I'm more.
and now it
amazed that
doesn't make
George didn't point
sense, and he
out-
can't go back.
I'm more amazed that we didn't get pointed out. Ryan plugged Roll20.
Yeah, we don't have a sponsorship, Ryan.
This could be any virtual tabletop that we're playing on.
Yeah,
Play whatever
I'm
virtual
playing with
tabletop you wish, guys.
Except for Tailspire, because, like, fuck me, it takes so long to set up. Very pretty, but fuck me, it takes a long time.
We have a
Yeah,
reverse
we are.
partnership with them. Someone else is paying us money to just like shit talk them.
Like a fucking presidential slander campaign.
I love presidential slander campaigns.
And on the back of presidential slander campaigns, they don't remind us what happened last time.
We're starting a presidential slander campaign.
Okay, so we split off into 2 teams of idiots rather than our typical 1 team of idiots. Idiots 1 and 2, what I would argue are the most idiotic of our idiots, Beros and Cyrus, went to the theater. They saw a fun little show about betrayal and murder and secret twins and murder again. Half-elves getting murdered, I think. Which Cyrus really enjoyed. He'd never been to the theater before. He was enthralled. They met the keeper of the ancient tombs, I believe. I'm really getting this mixed up with Baldur's Gate lore in my head because there's a fucking keeper of the lore in that. Anyway, so they met him. He was a old idiot. They stalked him to a tavern. Switching over to the trio of idiots, including myself, went to the Dryad's Tears Resistance House, met some folks, chatted to... Don't remember her name.
1 second.
Um,
One second.
Akram.
yeah,
No.
so we chatted to her. She was unhelpful in many ways, but Atlas realized that she was a simulacrum of sorts who had been separated from the Archmage and basically was all the characteristics the Archmage deemed unworthy to rule.
Was it not a Laris Nightshade?
Oh, he's
Yes.
correct. Alara Nightshade.
'Cause the
Inspiration to,
Archmage-
no taking boy.
Because the Archmage is a Lara something
To be
else.
fair, I did have it written down. I just didn't. flip
Something
the page.
song?
Is it not Yeah. No, is it not Nightshade as well? But it's just a different first name.
No, they're both Alara, aren't they?
They're both Alara, yeah.
Hang on, let me check.
They're both Alara. The leader is Alara Verulune.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I'll just go
Um,
back through my notes somewhere. It'll be in it.
But yeah, we chatted to them. We were like, we're gonna help you. And she was like, okay, the people get to choose. And we were like, you don't want our help? And she was like, the people get to choose. And we got frustrated and we left in the end. We met up with Idiot 1 and 2. We also went to the tavern to stalk the old man. Beros and Atlas went to chat to him, deemed as the most charming and the most knowledgeable on wines that they were going to buy him. We also met someone who worked in the courthouse, who was responsible for a lot of the Dryad's Tears getting sentenced. They were both pretty pro shoot yourself into space. Then we regrouped, shared everything we had found, and I think we decided we were maybe going to seek out that playwright because Atlas thought it was very suspect that a lot of the plot points we had found out seemed to be mirrored in the play. which I'm really hoping is true, because if not, I just made a red herring.
Also,
In worst case scenario, we
we're
have
now,
a booth.
we're now torn between, do we let them go to space or do we stop them going to space?
Also, the courthouse lady was like, "Hey, if you're going to the chariot racing, I got a private booth and you can borrow it." And we were like, "Cool." So we also might do that, because we can only do 3 things a day, and we're trying to not raise our notoriety score
Notoriety.
too much. Is that? Oh, I broke Cyrus because the gods helped me but didn't help me but did help me, but then they didn't help me, and so on and so forth.
I think you just broke Ryan, never mind Cyrus.
Yeah, they eventually concluded that you did good, the gods suck, carry on.
And then we took a long rest.
Mm-hmm.
Took a little nap.
Everybody had a sleep.
It's morning now, unless we were murdered in our sleep.
No, it is in fact morning of the next day.
Wow.
Or all alive and well.
For now.
And the day is yours to do with as you so please.
Would it just be an idea to figure out how our notoriety is before we go talking to any playwrights, or
Did we?
I mean,
did
is
we-
it a
did we do
terrorist
much?
action to talk to playwrights?
I believe our first plan was to seek out the playwright and then possibly take him
To the chariot racing.
Chariots, yeah.
A little tell us your secrets and we'll let you see horse races. Or not horse races, I guess.
You know, tell us your secrets.
It was a private
in
booth,
this,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
in this private booth where no one can hear us and everyone else is focused on
That's
horses.
when we go to the private booth. It's
Not
also
horses.
Horses and chariots.
No, it's self chariots. There's no horses.
Oh, that's boring. It's more fun when you have to like control a horse. If you just push a button and you have to drive the chariot, then you know that's just not the same excitement as horses. You know,
Yeah, but some people are very against chariot racing because horses die a lot.
why do you think it's exciting?
They also
Drama.
think the icon on the
you know, the
drawing
horse
to the-
falls and there's the, and then you know the other horse has to like jump over his fallen comrade, dragging the chariot with him, and there's blood and there's guts, and everyone's like, oh, and you know it gets the people going. It's why people
Big on
have
blood
chariot
sports where
racing.
you come from, huh?
sounds a bit
Yeah.
sounds a bit gruesome.
You got Rat Pit?
What?
Rat Pit.
What?
You play Rat Pit?
Not so much rat pit, more like frilled neck lizard pit.
You know,
don't
you
really have
you got
rats,
lots of
so-
little harmless animals like rats, and then you put something in there that kills all the rats, and you take bets on how long it takes them to kill all the rats. Rat Pit.
Astra pushing Pip further inside cloak.
I mean, we used to have 20 lizards versus a snake.
Kinda. My family were
Lizards
pretty
never-
against
never
Rat
did
Pit,
it.
but druids tend to be against blood sports in general.
You know, you could become the animal that fights the others and place bets on yourself.
I think they were more against all the rats dying than the thing that had to kill them.
Yeah, they're just rats. Yeah, they're just
You're just an
species of
Asimar.
vermin. Yeah, but there's a difference between a species of vermin and a species of half angel.
I don't know, man. There's tons of you. You keep breeding everywhere.
And what would you say rats do? You put 2 rats in a box, if they're male and female, by the end of the week there'll be like 100 rats.
If you put Barros in a box with a female by the end of the week, I don't think time moves that fast, but at the end of a year, there's going to be 100 tiny Barroses in there.
There won't be 100, there'll be like 1. And then the next year, Barros will have to do it again, and it'll be 150 years before there's 150 Barroses. But I don't know if satyrs live that long.
All right,
so
but he'll do it 100 times.
He'll certainly try.
Like a chiefs.
Death by snoo.
Friction burns.
Regardless, if you're expecting to see any horses die, you're gonna be disappointed. Unless you take a horse there and kill it, I guess. But I don't think they'll let you do that.
But I thought the sign on the side of the building had a horse on it. Is that
Yeah,
just
it's
false
weird, isn't it?
advertising?
Is it not just tradition, to say, for
I
the
suppose
old
it kind of
ways?
gets the point across, doesn't it? Like
Yeah,
it's
but
chariot
why don't
racing.
you just put a big wheel there?
Do you want to go to the chariot race or not?
I do, but I'm not gonna be overly happy about it.
You might set up a
Cyrus, you're not
package for
overly
Playwrought.
happy about anything.
That might be true, but I think that, well, one, we're going to the chariots to talk to the playwright in a private setting where we can ask him questions and figure out stuff without raising too much suspicion, since, we're trying to be quite anonymous. But also, if there was some blood sport, I would find it more interesting, and it's sad to hear that there won't be that.
I think
I
if we
mean,
took
we
Astra to
don't
blood
know.
sports, she'd cry.
That's a real
Blindfold her and
possibility.
plug her ears with wax. We took her to a brothel and she survived.
Yeah, but a brothel is not blood sport. Or at least
I
it
feel like
shouldn't
you say
be.
that and Asher just like goes out just like
It depends on what you're into. You ever hear of the donkey punch?
Also, you can go to a brothel and not see anything. You go to Bloodsport, you're gonna see stuff. Like, if we took Astra to an orgy, I think she'd cry.
Well, yeah, probably, but also, if
Don't
we take
worry,
her to the
Astra,
Bloodsport,
we're not.
Don't take her to the front
I don't know
seat,
what that
that's
is,
the
so
splash
I don't-
zone.
You don't know what that... Nobody tell her. Nobody tell her.
So,
Nobody,
basically what it is-
no, Cyrus, no. I will turn you into a slug.
You can't do that.
You want to try?
Mary's laughing, Asher's not laughing, she's very confused.
Do you want to call my bluff?
I think you should turn him into a slug. It would be very funny.
I can't turn you back once I've done
Can you
it.
do that?
I don't know how to do that. This is a one-way trip, bud.
I don't believe you.
Like, she turns herself into crazier, so it's not a huge step to say she can't turn you
Cyrus
into
is like
something.
leaning across the table.
Are you casting?
over breakfast?
Are you casting it?
Hmm?
Casting it?
Mm.
What's your wisdom save, Cyrus?
Do you want me to roll it?
I don't know. She doesn't think she's casting anything yet, but.
I am
Plus one.
casting...
Those are odds.
We can have a small Drake chat.
I am going to reach out, touch Cyrus, and cast.
Okay, Cyrus, make your wisdom saving throw. Your DC is 15 to beat.
Oh, not 20.
Good.
Yeah, the spell fizzles out.
Can you cast? I outside question. Can you cast polymorph?
You don't know.
You don't know.
I feel the magic, like Cyrus feels the magic flow over him, but dissipate, and there's just a little bit of, like his eyes just widen slightly, and then he leans back a bit.
You're lucky you're good at fighting magic, or you'd be crawling along the table right now.
Yeah, totally.
You'll also see a slightly dejected-looking Drake in the corner.
Next time, buddy. Next.
I'm just saying. My ex right now, he's a lizard.
And that's not because he's a kobold.
No. Gross.
Did you say you were... Didn't you have a kobold friend?
Yeah, a friend.
Oh, he was just a friend.
Just a friend. I don't even know if we're friends. We're close acquaintances.
I thought it was like that awkward thing where you're like, yeah, he's a friend that I used to know, but really it was more than that.
Oh. No, he's, we don't need to get into it.
You turned your ex-boyfriend into a lizard.
I mean, there's worse things to be turned into.
Yeah, I mean, I could have turned him into a chicken and put him in a soup pot.
That's
Nobody
the way I
eats
feel
lizards.
Lizards. Well, no, some people eat lizards. They're very stringy.
Nobody on my planet eats lizards. Kenkus might eat lizards. Used to be a Kenku, actually.
Can I'm gonna insight this.
Sure, go for it. Roll an insight check, and then Atlas, if
Can
you
I-
can roll a d20, then you can either add your persuasion or your deception to it, just so we can keep Cyrus
13.
guessing. Oh, it's pretty bad.
Just fucking with you. It's pure bullshit. At least on that. I assume you can't tell if this entire conversation was her fucking with you or not, but...
I think there's enough there for Cyrus to have sown some severe doubt in his
She's telling
assumption.
she's telling the
boyfriend
truth. She's telling the truth on at least one thing she just said.
Okay, the boyfriend is definitely not a lizard. But could she have done it?
Maybe in her mind.
Or maybe she didn't do it deliberately.
Pretty sure druids at level 3 can't cast polymorph. I'm scared now.
The person
Feel like
playing
everyone's
her
gonna
is
make a
dating the
slightly
DM.
wider berth
Who knows
now.
what boon she has managed to persuade.
I'm just staring at Harry. He has no tells.
He is the ultimate.
I thought you said
DM.
tails there. It's like, yeah.
Tells.
I do
Good
like,
poker player.
on the subject of censoring what we're drinking, whenever I lift this bottle to my lips, it just, like, disappears. Like,
Do that on purpose, but sure.
censorship. You'll never know.
And so does
Also, the
Ashley.
shape of it looks a little bit like I'm just drinking wine straight from the bottle.
Alright.
So, yeah, we gonna go see a playwright?
Mhm.
Apparently so.
Come on, slug boy, let's go.
Do not call me that.
Hey, what about, slimy? 1 foot.
Do
Eye
I look
stalks.
slimy to you? I don't have eye stalks.
One eye stalk.
I
I
don't
stalk.
have one eye. I don't stalk people either.
Well, I call you horny, but that feels a bit weird.
Why?
Ask Astra. And Atlas will just keep walking.
I think I'm starting to get to her.
Alright.
And we will go to the theatre.
To the theater.
To the
Go
theatre.
to the amphitheater. This early in the morning, the theater is not currently open. There is a matinee performance on, but it won't be on until the afternoon. But if you get there, it's not like it's very busy, and the gates are currently all closed.
Barros, use your powers of charm and persuasion.
I mean, I can just lockpick it.
You could do that too.
Is there anyone about?
Make a perception check. Quick scan. I'll take care of our party members' passive perceptions into account. Quick scan around. Passive
Can I give him
perception,
a hand?
Atlas. I think Atlas is 17. Is she's confident enough to say that you've caught a little moment of quiet here. It's people aren't really in this area at the moment, so you have a window of opportunity. You will need to make a stealth check to make sure you don't make a lot of noise or anything like that, but There's not like a
Okay.
big heavy presence of people around. Like there's people walking by and things, but no one's like watching you. There's no guards or watchers around.
Cool. I'll make a stealth check.
The rest of you will kind of like block the way, make sure he's all covered.
Yep.
Stealth check, please.
24.
24 indeed.
What about Tiny?
He's just gonna look down at you.
It's ironic.
Hmm.
And as Tiny is being jested about, Barros, make me a either a sleight of hand check or your thieves' tool check just to pick the lock.
Tools. Cool. Is it from my inventory that I do it?
In that, I'm not sure how you do it in Beyond itself.
No, there we go. Use tool. Dexterity. Proficiency. 11.
Lovely. And the little padlock pops down. Unlocked.
I'll open it and usher people through.
Yep, you open up the gate, much like you were someone who merely had just put a key in it and turned it with that kind of just like quite, calm collectedness. And you all usher inside. And Barrow, you close the gate behind you. You can leave it unlocked if you wish.
Yeah, I think unlocked. I don't think anyone's gonna think it's too suspicious.
Theater here, as you kind of arrive in, there is on your right at the end of the stage. There's this like little bar area, almost built right on the edge of the actual main like backing that kind of like makes the back of the theater itself, and also functions as like a back of house up back there. That long kind of like narrow building. You see on your left the rising actual seats there that you can all ascend to. You've kind of come in without an usher guiding you up around the top entrance. You've kind of come in on this lower entrance, which is the closest one to the street. So kind of have a look around. There are a few people kind of coming and going. You see some people are cleaning up in the stands. You see that there are, the sounds of people like, from inside. You hear music playing, but like muffled by the walls and windows.
I do believe he's probably where this music is coming from. Probably at some desk somewhere inside.
I mean, if it's a playwright, he might not even be here, but at the very least we can get a name.
Or an
That is
address.
true. If people are walking around, I'll kind of just coin one of them and kind of shout over. Excuse me, is the playwright about the person who put on the show yesterday?
Sorry, who are you? We're not open yet, sir. Sorry, I'm not sure how you've got it. We're just cleaning up and getting ready for the day.
No, we're just looking for. Why have I gone English?
It's a very infectious accent, sir.
We are just looking for the playwright. We simply wish to give him a gift.
Maybe a persuasion check, please, Barros.
None that 20.
A gift, eh? Yeah, makes sense. Fulcrus is weak to things like that. Sure, you should be inside the main building there, just third door on the left.
Thank you very much. And I will give him 100 chits.
His little hollow strap flashes up as he receives it. Gives a little nod.
Barros, we didn't bring a gift.
The VIP booth, that is the gift.
Smart.
Was that not the plan? Anyway?
Yeah, I just figured, is having to spend time with Cyrus really a gift?
I mean, it's a VIP booth. Hopefully, it's big enough that you can stand on the opposite side of the room from him. He'll
No
be too
offense,
enamored.
Cyrus, it's just the smell.
You and I also share a bedroom, you remember?
Yeah, that's why I always wear a mask.
You could sleep with. You always wear a mask anyway. You could sleep in Volgir's bed if you really wanted.
Hey, I like my own room. Anyone that wants to come in my room, deal with a Drake.
Olgir's a little too organized for my tastes. To pencil,
sure
he
if
nearly
that's
had an aneurysm.
Not sure if that's a backhanded compliment or an insult.
It's
I'll take
honesty.
it as a compliment.
And then, Astra's got the squirrel and Eros.
What do you mean?
We got a problem.
Eros. I would be offended if I didn't know it was true, whatever it was.
I feel like she goes Barros, and I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, fair enough.
And I will go to the third door.
Maybe you move inside. Further on the left is instructed. You see there is a little glowing projected plaque there, and it reads Office Falcrus Tharazak.
This guy's either going to be a genius or an idiot.
Or
It
crazy.
can be both.
I mean, the play was pretty alright, but it also could have been written from a book.
I thought the play was a huge success. Everyone seemed to enjoy it. The story was captivating enough that the audience didn't yawn, and the ending.
Well, why don't you
was
tell him
a
that?
little
And she knocks on the
cliched,
door.
but-
You hear sound of some music coming to a halt, the dulcet tones of a lute ceasing, and then you hear very well, come inside.
Oh yeah, I'm coming in.
The door opens, and you see before you the quite strange-looking form of a elf, not of the high elf persuasion. Light grey hair, a real dark purple hue to their skin, dark eyes that kind of dominate their full sclera and pupil. As this draw kind of looks up at you, wearing quite comfortable, loose-fitting clothing. There is a beautiful lute carved of a black wood propped up on the wall, kind of next to him, that he's just sat there. And turns around and goes, look, Jones, whatever... sorry, wasn't expecting anyone today popping in.
No, we thought we'd come and show our appreciation. We watched the show last night, and we thought it was so magnificent. We would like to invite you to a VIP booth at the Maximus.
Oh. Well, tickle me chuffed. Oh, quite possibly. I mean, I do have a show this afternoon, this evening, but I would have time perhaps in between. If you want to catch a few races then, but... Wait, who are you, or who are you, on the behest of, is perhaps maybe more the question I should be asking.
No behest.
We are on the behest of ourselves.
Fair enough.
Cyrus thought your play was life-changing. First play he's ever been to, and he's sold on the theatre now.
Ah! It is, an easy thing to say someone to true art, my boy.
I liked the part where they all died at the end, though it did seem a little bit too clean.
Well, that is the mark of a good tragedy. And a denouement. You can't have too many loose ends. Otherwise, people are left asking questions. Why did they get away? Or what happened to so-and-so? If everyone dies at the end of tragedy, if there's nothing left up to question, it means the story focuses on the aspects covered in the duration of the show. Some comedies, you leave it a bit more open-end. Even some tragedies, you can leave it a bit more open-end. But, of course, it falls to the same slight, it opens it up to the audience to make their own decisions. In this play, the intention was to remove that choice, in a sense.
I do believe he was talking about the blood. He's used to real blood, not the ribbons.
Oh, I understand that you can't kill your actors. That, would make replacing them a lot harder, I suppose.
That would be a hell of a show, though.
On the only murder we've ever done on stage, if you could call it that, was whenever we did it was a show about a young farmer, a wild elf boy who'd come onto the actual Sky City himself for wonder and bereavement. And he had a scene where he butchered a chicken live on stage. There was a new chicken every night, all named after each member of the cast. So depending on who'd pissed someone off that day, the odd chicken may be next on the chopping block, as it were. But that is unfortunately where we draw the line when it comes to real death on the stage.
There you go, Cyrus. You might find blood sport in the theater.
Theater seems a lot more violent than I thought it was originally. I thought it was just a bunch of people acting, but
Like blood
What was
sports
the
in
show
theater,
called?
you should wait until the annual gladiatorial events are on in the Maximus. That is quite the show.
Cyrus looks at the party.
Maybe.
See,
Maybe.
Depends. Is there one in the
Igor is
next
still here.
couple days?
If it gets shot into the sky, we might have some issues visiting.
There's one on the 15th of this month.
Is that before the Ascension?
I believe so. It's only 3 days away.
Oh no, we've lost him. But yes, I'm sure you're a very busy individual, so we will meet you there. Were we given the information of which booth it was?
Yeah, you were told it was basically the booth. You were just to give the name of Elwyn, who'd set it aside for you. So it would be Elwyn Brightstar's private booth.
I will relay that information. And
Elwyn,
Would
are
you
you
rather we come and escort you there, or would you prefer to meet us there in your own time?
It shouldn't be. I know my way to the Maximus. I don't see any issue in getting there. Like I say, I'll do my best. I have a show just hours after midday. Should be finished up before probably before the 4th hour after midday or so. I should be able to pop down. But if you're there, I'll catch you. I imagine you'll be spending a bit of time anyway.
This may be an inappropriate question, but can you walk in the sun?
Oh yes, I can. It does sting the eyes a tad. But I have a sun umbrella. It allows me to get around and do what I need to do. It's why I tend to turn my personas whenever I am out and about. If
Right,
there's nothing
then,
else, I will see you then.
We shouldn't keep you. Yes.
Always
See you at the
happy
races.
to entertain with some fine patrons of the theatre. And again, as always, any contributions to the group are always highly appreciated. If you head down on the way out, there should be a box on the wall by the gate. Okay, I'll see you later.
Let's go, guys.
Goodbye. Nice to meet you.
And you
Goodbye.
yourself,
For your time.
a group of people whose names not have been passed on to me in the slightest.
My name is Beros.
Astra.
Cyrus.
Alice. That's
all
vulgar.
here. He
Vulgar.
doesn't talk very much.
And tell Elwyn, thank you very much, but she knows that her tickets are always available for pickup whenever she likes them already, so I'm not sure what she's trying to get from this, but it has piqued my curiosity nonetheless. See you all there.
Thank you.
You leave, the door closes behind you.
Shuffle
This is the leaving
Shuffle
option.
Yep, you shuffle out,
Shuffle.
back out to the outside.
That was
You're
like a
not-
whole ass drow. You
They're
guys
not
saw
very
that,
common.
right?
They're not very common, right? I've only ever seen like one.
Not this
or
high
two.
up.
Not above the ground, no.
They also have a fairly
probably
bad
of the span.
tension with high elves traditionally, because of the use of their power, effectively. The reason why the Sky Cities fly so high is because the Drows dug so deep and found like resources and things that the high elves warped and changed and.
He must be a force to be reckoned with if he's managed to get himself into the high reaches of society.
Mm. There's some pretty powerful people.
Maybe a powerful ally to have.
Well, he's a playwright. I'm sure he writes plays for kings and queens and.
There are
don't
lots
like
of playwrights. If they wanted
Yeah,
someone...
but he's a very good playwright.
Even the good playwrights don't get paid that much.
Yeah. Ever heard the term starving artist?
I would say that both Beros and maybe not Cyrus, but Beros probably would pick up on it. The voice of the individual was the same who played the lead. That like Meal, the one who was the guard with the twin brother. Captain the guard.
Okay.
Cyrus was so
different on the night.
so enraptured by the performance, he doesn't...
Totally different person.
He's honestly forgotten they were actors and all.
Definitely. I do believe, I think I...
If
recognized him
Cyrus saw
from
that
stage.
that guard in the street, he would be throwing hands.
Yes, I have heard the term starving artist, but I've also heard the saying, it's who you know, not what you do.
But you were arguing against that. If it was what he do, then it would be the playwriting. But if he knows powerful people, then...
Yes, but he might know powerful people because of the playwriting. But it's not what he does that gets him in the circles, it's who he knows through what he does.
You know when people are like, you're a really easy person to talk to?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But I recognize him from the play, so I don't think they're doing that well for actors if they're doubling up on playwriting and acting. Unless he simply just wishes to be
Barros,
part of
maybe
it.
you could become an actor. You're good at lying to people.
True, but I'd get bored of it. I much prefer real killing over pretend.
Don't worry, we'll find you an alternate job just in case this doesn't work out.
Yeah, there's always a room
Gonna
for
be a
killing.
pirate captain. Or he's a normal captain. You've given up piracy, right?
We'll see. We may need to. I'm running out of chits like there's no tomorrow.
A little bit of piracy as a treat.
A little bit of piracy, merchant ships, the rich, anyone who can afford it.
just a little skim off the top.
Is there anything else you would like to do this morning, or are you gonna jump to the Circus Maximus when Falk
we
rests?
have
Did you ever pirate around Skaw? Because there was a time where we lost like 3 shipments full of wine, and it was a nightmare. And I want to check sure that you didn't do that.
It was I've been on ships for a long time. I do remember that we did get some very nice wine, but I mean, probably the best wine I have ever had from a merchant ship. But I'm not very good with navigating, or not. I wasn't. I was like 16 at the time, so we might have been.
It didn't glow, right?
It was a long time ago. I was very drunk. I would not. Maybe if I saw a bottle of it, then I would remember. They tend to have. From what you said, it has very distinctive features.
Just if my dad meets you and finds out that you're that pirate, he's gonna kick your ass.
I mean,
There's nothing I could do to stop him.
At that age, I wasn't a full pirate. I was like baby pirate. More of a deckhand, cabin boy at that age.
Perhaps since we have some time to kill, we should explore the city and see if we can sort of check out our notoriety.
That might be a good idea.
Touristy things.
No point in wasting time. Might as well do something with it.
Yep, so you've kind of like set up your meeting for the kind of like mid-afternoon to evening segment, which will probably take a whack out of 2 of your time segments. You have to spend time waiting around for Falcus to arrive, and then actually your actual meeting with them there. So yeah, you can spend the rest of this morning segment like. Are you trying to reduce notoriety, or are you trying to see what it's currently at, or?
And if we could just reduce it, then
Yeah, maybe it'd be better to act on the assumption that it's higher than we'd like it to be.
Yeah.
Sure. So the last time you knew what it was 14. Last time you had it checked, so.
And that was before the announcement, so might be a bit above.
Let's just work on lowering it.
Yeah.
Also, if we work on lowering it and then check it again, we can see how much it's lowered from 14. It'll give us a better base point of like, how much it helps us.
Okay. So attempting to lower your notoriety score. If all of you are sinking your time into it, I'm going to say all of you bar Barros, because Barros will have had to spend his morning effectively doing that, but he kind of led that other bit anyway. You're all just also present. So I'll say that 4 of you could actively participate in lowering your notoriety level by doing things, like not picking locks and breaking into locations. So in that regard...
I guess I could not pick some
Out
locks.
of curiosity, what is this building?
Building, sorry?
The one with the book.
Is that the Great Library?
That's
of
the
Tilm?
Great Library of Tilm.
Eh.
That's where the registrations are currently happening. You briefly kind of passed nearby it. It looked very busy when you were passing by, but not like, you weren't like, directly on that road. There was a lot of people gathered there.
So any ideas on why we'd lower our notoriety?
Yeah,
Okay,
tell me what you want to do so.
Maybe like actively like do touristy stuff, like
Let's go on a sightseeing tour. That's
Yeah.
touristy.
An open top self-carriage tour.
I'm more of a walking
Yeah,
tour kind of
that's-
person
that's
myself, for
access.
sure.
The open top double decker.
Yeah, the open
Yeah.
top double decker. It's actually a triple decker here. Yeah, you
Okay, but Atlas is going to insist that she sits at the top deck at the front.
I feel like Ash should be up there with her. It's like, oh,
the tickets for the hop-on, hop-off service are, like all of them, a little bit pricey, despite what you're getting for them. So it would probably be for each of you, let's call it a flat 300 shits each.
Oof.
But it does mean you could avail of the hop-on, hop-off service for the rest of the week.
All 3,000 shits.
I mean, might help us get around places. Oof,
It's
we need to
fine.
do
Think of the
some,
sick
bounty
rewards we'll
hunting
get when
quests
we
and-
Normally in
save cities.
Normally in D&D, you start off in like a campaign in like the wilderness, and you have time like acquire wealth and build it up before you get to the city. If I just throw you in a city early on, it's like everything costs money because you're in a city, and that's just the way cities work. It's like, fuck me, guys, you're running very
And
low.
they frown
Did you
upon
say
you,
350?
eating seagulls.
300 each. 300 chits each.
300.
Yeah.
Oh god, I have 150 chits left.
Like half a week's of hop on, hop off tours. It's probably loads of money.
Every time Cyrus buys something, he's gonna be like bleep, and then just looks at Volgear.
1 second.
Carries on.
Volgear gets his purse out.
You're gonna have
Right.
that. You're gonna have that awkward moment where you try to buy like a loaf of bread and your chits reject. It's like no.
How much chits do we need?
I mean, I've already paid mine.
I've already paid mine.
We're
Alright,
fine.
Hey, you can pay for mine. I'm not going to reject you paying for it.
Do I need to pay in chits, or do I need to start reworking some stuff here? Because I've got mix of fucking currency.
I turn this
They
platinum
will
into
accept
chits.
non-chits. They will accept.
Non-chit.
Yeah, they will accept. Cash is always king.
Cash in hand.
Cash in hand always is accepted.
Right,
Don't have
well,
to
I
pay
have a gold
taxes on
piece
that
then.
shit.
Here's a gold piece to pay off whatever's remaining. Do I need to get a second one out?
And a third.
Yeah, 300 chits, 3 gold.
3 gold, that's fine. 1, 2, 3. How many do I need?
I think it was you and Barros, so it'd be 6 in
6.
total for the two of you.
Right, done. Yep.
I don't believe
What
everyone
background
else.
did you pick?
Rich ass motherfucker.
well,
Rich ass motherfucker.
well,
But I also
well.
didn't buy anything, unlike some people.
True.
So I've stored all my money.
How the rich stay rich. They don't spend their
Don't spend
money.
it. Yeah.
Damn wealth hoarders.
Whereas, what did you buy?
A shield,
Yeah.
and a beer, and a meal.
No, I bought beer. You also bought plenty of beer for the entire group.
I bought a lot of rounds.
I haven't bought that much. I bought winemaking supplies. But I suppose I still have like 2,000 shit, so I'm not doing bad.
That's an investment. We're all gonna enjoy that. At some point.
At some point,
So you
when they're ready.
whenever
you all
it's
have your
ready.
little open bus tour. You know, you have the camera. You're taking pictures in your hollow strap. You know, you got like big binoculars. You're looking out as they take you around. Just because it's fun. Because you are going on an open.
This would be so fun if it wasn't for the looming threat of death.
Yeah. I feel like Astra's doing like the cameo pictures of her and Pip and just like in front of like landmark locations.
Selfie.
Sorry, I think I missed exactly what we're going on talking to Emma.
We're going on an
What did I
open
just
top
pay
tour
for?
of the city.
You're going for an open top bus tour.
We're on a London tour bus.
Yeah.
Is this
Yeah.
before it ascends into the heavens and you can't go on an open tour bus?
We're
without
just
being
we're
a
trying to be
fucking-
touristy so we drop
Trying
our
to be
notoriety score.
Yeah.
Atlas will not be taking
one-
pictures of her in notable locations.
Volga is just going to be thinking aloud and just go, I wonder how they're going to keep all the air in the city when they go up.
Magic.
Big dome.
And
That's
if
just
you
what it
look to your left, you will see the Grand Airship Dock. That is the dock where the airships of the Grand class or higher have to dock due to their weight class. On the smaller decks, they would simply rip them from the city proper when they attempted to anchor, damaging the city and themselves. Normally, that will cost a higher fee. On your left, you will see a row of residential buildings. This is where people, or high elves normally, would sleep or trance, eat, and generally go about their lives when they are not at
I'm
work.
going to lean at whoever's next to me and just go, he paid 3 gold for this?
I'm gonna lean next to whoever I'm sitting next to. I'm like, by saying that, does he mean that anyone other than High Elf aren't people?
And you're basically led around in this little tour that kind of it takes you a good bit. It takes probably the good chunk at this time, so it probably fills you right up until midday, a good couple of hours. I would like one of you, because you've spent money. It's not going to be a check. It's just going to be an automatic success because you've spent a certain amount of cash. So I'd like one of you, please, to roll me a D4.
I'll roll.
Go for it.
Sure.
Right. I'm going to roll it on the table this time because I want to use the new dice for actually something.
I'm surprised Ryan didn't want to roll the table breaker dice.
They're near.
It's probably not got them ready yet.
I have them.
A 4.
Lovely.
I feel like using a table dice for a dice where you don't actually know where the effect. whether
Yeah,
it should
because
be
it's like,
higher or lower
what are
is
you
better.
gonna do? Cheat on the dice roll you don't know you need?
Yeah, exactly.
Alrighty. And
The
before-
worst terrifying with that is always when it's like, roll a d100, it's like, I don't know if I need high or low.
Please tell me.
And then
this
you get like a
tour included,
93 and it's like, oh!
Either really good or really bad.
Please tell me this tour was like the Guinness tour, where you stop and you get a free pint at the end of it somehow.
No, but they do probably stop outside a variety of like taverns and food places on the way. You probably do end up at the Grand Market. One of the food vendors does give everyone a little it's a zucchini on a stick. It's just a whole fucking courgette that's been deep fried on a stick.
It's Pickle Rick on a stick.
Yeah. You pick it up and it says it can eat itself.
My voice broke. My
I'm a
is
zucchini.
talking.
Right. What drugs have you been doing, Cyrus?
Maybe it's enchanted.
Nah, you've just been doing too many drugs. What we told you about those shrooms?
Hey,
Did
I
you
can
have that
stop
tea
anytime I
again?
want.
You did have shrooms on your breakfast this morning.
They weren't the special shrooms. They were just mushrooms.
How do
had
you
them
know?
because everybody ate them.
Maybe
Are
we're
you
all just
all
better
high
at
right now?
handling. I mean, you have been shown to have some of the worst trips.
Hmm. There's a lot going on up here.
Just this ape monkey just going.
I like to imagine it's more like the fucking cymbal clapping monkey, just like over and over.
Homer Simpson just dun dun spin,
more-
Monkey with, like, two little shields.
spin.
And a prop horn, just
I more imagine it's Sparrows on a tricycle on a zip line. It's like,
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
yeah.
No. Let's get it right. It's that. What was it? Ogre from the Was it an ogre? Big
Oh,
hands
the
lady
giant,
from the.
the giant
Yeah.
lady.
Oh no, let me try to lie.
with her stripper pole for balance.
Yeah.
She was a big woman.
Tinkerbell.
Good old Tinkerbell.
Mm-hmm.
As the sheriff would say, a lot of women.
Quite. Whole lot of women. Quite a woman.
A lot of woman.
A lot of women.
A lot of women.
All the women. Right.
So, we go into the races.
Nice. I assume you're heading to the self-carriage Maximus, unless there's anything else you'd like to do instead, but I believe the plan is kind of partially set.
Whenever the bus gets us close to that.
Yeah, you hop off your hop off tour bus and make your way up towards the long kind of like leading roadway that takes you in that direction, and you see have you
Right.
brought enough for the whole class?
I was about to say, am I right in thinking I'm going to have to go get some popcorn now?
We don't have.
I've got a popcorn maker downstairs. I'll just put the popcorn maker on.
We got Jerry's ice cream though.
God. Am I right in thinking we need to spend like a whole third of a day to find out our new level?
Yes. That would be like asking around, like watching guards, seeing how they react when they see you, things like that, to gauge their reaction.
Maybe if we have enough time after the races, we could see if we can try and figure out our notoriety by the end of the day.
I will say you probably will have time for that. A final segment if you wanted to do a little recon.
I'd already dropped it on the
No
floor.
people food for the dog.
It's not people food, it's corn. She has corn in her dog food.
You all arrive. Who's taking the helm on this? You kind of see there's a large, grand, like opening area, like a big, kind of like big lobby foyer area that kind of like leads to the front. There's this huge, like, old sign, which reads "Self-Carriage Maximus." There's a big picture of like a an old like horse and like chariot kind of being pulled behind it, and someone like riding the back of a big whip. It looks like the wood that the sign is made from. The area that says self-carriage looks newer than the rest. Its varnish is a bit less worn to time. Looks like it's been an addendum made.
They didn't even fix the whole sign. They just fixed part of it. And
It's money.
the city full of high elves.
They're not just updating it. It looks like a pretty old arena, so maybe they're just being like, "Oh, this is arena. This is self-carriage arena."
Maybe they change it when the gladiators come up and then they switch it out.
But then the horse and the carriage and the whipping doesn't make sense because unless they're going to cover the horse with another guy with a whip and it's just two men whipping each other.
Is that what
Maybe
you
they
want?
fight horses.
Maybe they fight each other on horses.
More interesting.
Right, we better get in before, I don't know, Cyrus embarrasses himself and,
Too late.
Signs up.
I don't know.
Aw, I was gonna say too late.
I hate you all. And Cyrus will just start walking in.
You walk inside the foyer, you see there's big long bars and left and right, a big kind of like ticket area, and there's a fair buzz of people here, and you kind of hear like being broadcast through these big speakers. You hear,
Can't hear you, Harry.
and just like kind of like a lot of blasting kind of background noise of like, you know, just like a very horrible George can't be trusted to have fucking
Every time you spoke
time
into
you
that,
hit-
it was silent.
Yeah,
Yeah?
every time
Yeah,
you
we
hit
just got
voice
the
note,
end.
don't know
nothing.
why. Don't know why. It was me babbling nonsense anyway, so it's fine.
Cool. Do we want? I don't know what the VIP experience is. I don't know whether what we get food there. I assume potentially like it's full service, but if not, we can go back down for drinks and snacks.
We could just
Normally
ask.
in a VIP booth, you get like nibbles and a complimentary drink, but just the one.
I suppose it depends how fancy the woman is and how much
Yeah.
she uses it.
We
She
could
might have a
If
premium
it's
premium.
if it's her private booth, then I think she uses this. a
Also,
lot.
if you're with someone who's trying to show off, or you're using the booth of someone who's trying to show off, then it's gonna be like everything.
Why don't we just ask someone? Rather than
Maybe.
just making assumptions.
Can do. There's a ticket booth there. There's a bar there.
Go on then.
People in the crowd.
Cyrus will go up and find a bar staff.
Test and you failed.
You approach the bar. You see there's a high elf woman behind the bar. And approach. She goes, "All right, love. What can I get for you?"
Yes, we are staying in Elwin's booth today. We were wondering what kind of services are provided, and could you show us to it?
Elwin's booth. You mean Bright Star? Yeah.
Yes.
She's one of the big VIP booths, so she's got her own private bar in there. Big comfy chairs, big viewing platform, holographic projection in the arena as well. If you head over there to that ticket booth, he can send you up, and you see there's like on the end of the ticket booth, there's like a little more private one. It almost looks more like a concierge desk versus like a main reception desk, and there's quite a prim, proper looking high elf there, kind of stood out in front of the desk, like arms behind his back, waiting patiently.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Oh
And
wait,
then he will head off
head over there.
this way.
You see the house straight in his back as you approach, and you approach, you here. Hello there, Madame or Monsieur. How may I be of assistance today?
It's Mr. And
So, perfect.
me and my colleagues are staying in Elwin Brightstar's booth today for the race viewing. Would you mind escorting us there?
Sir, could you please confirm your name?
Cyrus Ravenmar.
And there are 5 of you. Not.
6 if you count a squirrel.
Squirrel's
we
not a person.
Not need to count animals, however, we do ask you keep it under control. If it is seen off your person or exploring on its own 2 feet, it will be asked to leave. But yes, the
I
wolf,
wonder if the same goes for Cyrus.
if your friend
Yeah, like-
behaves like an animal, then the treatment will be appropriate.
What about the Drake?
Well, he's a
Drake's very well
civilized
behaved.
creature.
The Drake speaks
My
in
Drake
Draconic.
doesn't.
Drake speaks in Draconic. What are they talking? I heard Drake. I've been around here long enough to know what Drake means in common. I know that they're talking about me. It's like whenever you say the word walk in front of a dog.
I'm just gonna turn to the Drake and just go. He's saying that you're a mindless animal who's not going to behave themselves.
Tell him that he has no idea what mindless animal is, and unless he looks at his mother again. That would be,
just gonna-
that'd be
I'm
a
just gonna
prime
pick him up
example
and
of a
set him on
mindless animal if I
Cyrus's
correct.
shoulder.
Atlas just goes,
Let him
ooh,
on
despite the
Cyrus's
fact
shoulder.
that, like, only she and Volga can understand what he just said. That was a
You've now
sick
got a Drake on
burn.
your shoulder, Cyrus. I feel like the Drake will probably attempt to nip Cyrus's ear a good number of times.
He will try and grab it by the neck.
You can attack roll on Cyrus. Oh dear.
15.
It appears I'm being attempted to be suplexed. Please, send assistance my way.
His
You-
armor class is a 16.
Yeah, but he's like, he's like grabbing for you, but like, he's like,
Just bites the hand, probably.
I bite at the
Like,
hand
full on
that
bites
bites
it.
me.
Yeah, if you think he retaliate with violence, sure.
Yeah.
Guys, you're gonna get us chucked out the self-carriages. Come on.
He's not doing it with violence, he's just kind of like nipping to go, yeah, no, stop that, fuck off, basically.
He was nipping at me first.
I feel
You
like
insulted him.
watching all this, Ash is just like, good boy, Pip.
You compared me to a squirrel, I compared myself to the Drake.
Well, right now you're both acting like animals. Sorry,
that
my
you two just
friends
stay
aren't
there. We're both acting like
familiar with
children.
higher society.
It is quite alright. We're quite used to people who don't actually know how to handle themselves. Don't worry. It can be dealt with at a later time if required. I'm just filing you off here. Miss Elowin did say the booth we would be popping around today at some time potentially. Keep an eye out for you. I'm just seeing what facilities she's left open to yourself. Ah, marvelous. If you'd like to follow me, and he will turn, wave his hand, and a holographic red rope just vanishes, and he begins heading up a flight of stairs.
Follow.
Follow.
After you all run the staircase, they stop. But the momentum all continues, although you all kind of instantly stop with the bump in the person in front of you. As the staircase itself begins to just take you up like an escalator, just rising and rising and rising as you're traveling along. And after probably about a minute or so of traveling upward, the staircase comes to a halt, and you realize there's like a very long run of doors and corridors here, and the actual staircase itself seems to almost bend and warp where it needs to be. They walk up, they open the door, step aside, and they gesture for you to enter.
I will enter. And hope everyone follows.
Follows.
Thank you kindly.
You're most
Master
welcome.
Fox.
Should you need anything, there is the bar. It is an unattended bar, open to help yourself. If you require assistance, please simply ring the bell.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you do wish to place any bets, there is the console on the left-hand side of the terminal that will put you in direct line to your bet master. Please enjoy your time here at the Self-Carriage Maximus. If you need anything, again, the bell will suffice. And he steps back to the stairs.
Just a heads up, we are expecting a guest to arrive within the next 15 minutes, half an hour.
The name of the individual would be?
What was his name?
I don't think we asked. He's
It
the
was on
playwright.
it was on the door of his office.
I didn't read that.
Falcus something.
Yep, Falcus would be correct. Ah, Mr. Falcus, of course. We will know to expect him. We'll recognize him and send him your way when he arrives.
Well, at least you know who he is, because we don't.
Indeed, Miss Miss Elwin would have me here often.
That is interesting.
You are led inside, kind of left your own devices. As you do this inside, you see the right-hand side of this area. It's not a massive chamber. It's probably about 20 foot square. Still plenty of space for, kind of what you're doing. The front, like dead ahead, is dominated by a long curved window that looks down on the huge, high actual arena itself. You see the actual, like, Maximus. The architecture here is sleek, and you see there's bending elements of almost like that classic style the city has, with this like state-of-the-art track that stretches over 800 meters in length, winding around back on itself. But it is not simply just like a round, like Olympic 800 meter sprint. You see it weaves left and right. It actually overlaps itself in figures of eights in places. So it makes full use of the space and length, almost into more of a Formula One style racetrack to, in a sense, but placed in the middle of a huge like Olympic style arena. You see there's a clear starting line, huge big checkered flags, and you see these like lightweight aerodynamic vehicles. You see like lightweight kind of like just designs, and some of them are like really like minimalist, some are really quite large and flat, and all these big streamlined effects. Where you are right now, as you kind of like look over the glass in front of you, you see it's arcane glass. So as you kind of scan your eyes over, as if by like general intelligence, it seems to like detect where each individual in the area is looking, and you see various like statistics popping up, almost like names of racers, names of cars, like best personal best times, like odds to win, things like that, all kind of like popping up and flaring up over each individual. And there are also like a large, big, comfy chairs, kind of all positioned on that curved at the front, only really to sit about 4 people comfortably. There are more chairs in the back, kind of like more like longer sofas and things like that. The bar on the right-hand side, which is fully kitted out, and there is also, which is quite interesting, on those long sofa benches a bit further back, there are hanging from the ceiling what look like helmets on like long curled rope, like hanging there. There's also the bet terminal on the left-hand side of the main glass.
Barros will immediately turn around to Volga. Volga, you're a nerd and you seem to be able to keep your money. You want to have me place a bet? Maybe we can earn some chits while we're here. Well,
that's what I was just thinking. But first things first, I want a drink.
Well,
and then I'm down for a gamble or two.
At the bar pouring an ale.
Yeah, we just turn around, you're already over there. So.
Yep.
Would you also want one?
The fuck? How did you get there so fast?
Guy would love this. Gonna be jealous.
There is beer, there is hard spirits, whatever you would like.
I feel like this
What's the
might
wine
end badly.
selection like?
Wine section? It's
Red or
very good.
white?
Are you gonna have a proper look for the wine selection?
Yes.
Make me a perception check.
Do I get advantage for knowing shit about wine? Do I get advantage for knowing shit about
Sure.
wine?
Barros, Volgir, what are we drinking?
I'm going to stick with an ale for the moment, especially if we're going to do some betting. I don't want to...
Or an ale?
22.
Barros?
Yes, if we're doing some betting, I want to... actually, no, this calls for wine. We're bougie, as they would say.
Astra, I've already poured 3 eels. Would you like an ale?
Okay.
He'll hand her the 3rd eel.
Yeah, she
the
just
second
holds
to
it, doesn't
Volgir.
really drink.
Just...
And Barros will lean over the counter to Atlas. Anything worth drinking in there?
Atlas has a good little skim around, and Atlas, after a
I'm
pretty
looking.
intense search of what you kind of like or summarizing what would be good or not, like
Swill.
did you recognize?
Swill.
You do come across 3 bottles that are very familiar to you because of their wax seal on top.
Yep.
Family crest.
Okay.
The vintages,
I have
even though they're not the
found
best, but they
something
are
decent.
very good.
Okay, well, that one was not a good year. That was a weird storm cloud that rolled in, and everything got really dusty. That's gross. But this one should be decent. She'll pull it out. Holds it up
Oh!
triumphantly.
I do remember this wine bottle. Yes, we did steal some wine from there. Don't worry, I want to mention it to your father. He sounds scary.
People think he's scary, but my mom's the one you need to worry about.
So no mentioning of my pirate days, and may or may not have stealing a few merchant crates of wine from your family.
Yeah, best not just. I
Hey,
mean,
you're
you're
a
lucky.
pirateer.
My granddad's dead, and he would have strung you up. But the family's got more gentle with my father. Regardless, prepare for some of the best wine of your life.
Let's get this
Cyrus,
started
want a glass
then.
of wine from definitely not a family helped by the gods?
Pass.
May help you gain, I don't know, godliness.
Harder pass.
Can I try some?
Absolutely.
Thank
She'll
you.
pour 3 glasses.
Cyrus is going to take the ale back.
I feel like Ash is really passing the ale to someone else. Probably passing it to Volgear or someone because thinking he's drunk is already.
Yeah, Volga will definitely take the second one, even if he's not finished. Probably finish up the first one, then take the second one.
Can't believe they have this. I wonder who their supplier is.
Yep, you all get a drink that you would enjoy. You get yourself settled in. Does anyone investigate anything in particular in the room, or are you happy to just
And
We're gonna go over to betting.
Pull
Yes.
down one of the helmets and try and look into it.
Was not made for this head.
there are
Was not
seven.
made for this head.
There are 7 helmets hanging down around these kind of like rear areas, and as you pull one down, sorry, as you see it, yes, with your, it is a little bit difficult to use because of your actual physical constraints. However, you are able to position it in a place where you can at least get your the majority of your face into it. And when you do so, you begin to see
VR,
things
VR.
moving around, looking around, and as you kind of are looking there, you see the statistics coming up, and you see you have you see the words Eris Wind Whisper, odds 2 to 1, and being flashing up, and it becomes very apparent you are looking through the eyes or the helmet of one of the drivers down on the actual course itself, so you can be in the
oh
hot
Jesus!
seat.
I know I'm in a booth, but I'm also in a car. I'm also in a carriage.
I feel like Atlas takes off her mask, reaches up and grabs one, and you kind of look like there's no way that's fitting on a head that side, and her feather just boom as she puts it on.
I feel like Asher kind of
70% floof.
pokes her head in and then
All the feathers
backs out
just,
and then
poking
goes
out
again.
the bottom.
There's
Not
This is
that.
neat.
It's just fur. Makes me look poofy.
kind of
This guy's got a 2 to 1 on him.
Sorry, my daughter is crying.
Not much about betting.
I don't really have the money for betting. Would be nice to win, but I don't have the money to risk losing.
Yeah, Barris, this might be more helpful for you or Bulgir. And she kind of hands over.
First, I'm just looking at this general board at the moment, trying to get a scope of things. Might come over there in a minute. Does it say how long until the first race?
It says right now that they're currently getting set up, so they'll be ready in about 5 minutes is estimated to go. It looks like there are 7 racers on today. There is the Wind Whisper, Star Shadow, Leaf Swift, Sunfire, Storm Rider, Swift Shade, and Moonstrike, each one with reducing odds. It's a 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 5 to 1, 7 to 1, 9 to 1, and then it jumps up to 12 to 1. And I think that's 1, 2, 4. And then it jumps to 16 to 1, kind of in that running order.
Any sort of tips anywhere or anything like that? Or is it just pure betting?
It tells you things like various statistics, like, Eris Wind Whisper, utilizing wind magic to manipulate aircrafts around the vehicle. Their stealth carriage is designed to and it kind of walks you through what each of them done. Star Shadow basically uses night vision, the thing, the moon magic. He does like their vehicle when you look down. He's bioluminescent paint that glows, and they can like with that apparently they can according to the flavor text you're reading. Apparently they can predict the movements for overtaking opponents, things like that on the track. Leaf Swift is a wood elf who uses plant magic, and her vehicle's all adorned with like vines, things like that to help it with tight corners and turns. Sunfire is a fire mage who uses like big bursts of like fire at the back of his vehicle. He kind of has like a big rocket car, effectively. You've got Storm Rider, who has like these almost like big wings on their vehicle, and like on like rainy days and stuff like that apparently do very, very well. But it's quite dry today. But it does look like they have abilities to do things like, you know, create rain and things like that as well, which might kind of add to their ability. Swift Shade is you see that their vehicle has the ability to turn invisible for brief amounts of time, meaning it very difficult to see where they are, predict where they're going to be. The problem is, although they are, you know, easy to pop in and out, doesn't necessarily always help with the initial, like, actually getting up in the place. So they might vanish for a few laps and then come back and be in the same position, but like, you know, it's because, you know, it doesn't necessarily help the initial overtaking. And the final one is Moonstrike, who apparently draws from like the sun and celestial bodies. So like apparently, you know, during certain times of the lunar cycle, they get a bit of a boost, but it's not exactly a very prominent one at this moment.
Where is this board?
It's on the glass. It's just like a glass betting terminal, like on the glass. So anyone can move up to it. You can basically say, I want to put this amount of money on this person, and it'll also tell you that if you need to remind their odds for each individual, I can tell you. As you go.
So what do you think is all good? Anyone catch your eye?
Not too sure at the moment. I'm not sure what the nature of the races might hold, and I'm not quite sure what would play good at the moment.
Maybe
I
we're
go
best just
blind.
watching one and seeing how it plays out and bet on the next.
I'd say during that time, Astra's probably like scanning around the booth, seeing if there's anything that would like, I don't know, listen in on them or something.
Sure, make a perception check, please.
Oh, I was nearly 18. 8. Never mind.
Look around. Nothing obvious that would be spying on you, as far as you can tell. Anything else anyone would like to do? Anyone want to place any bets or anything? Or
No, I think so. I think Cyrus is just going to watch the first race.
I think Barros is going to chuckle to himself and then put 100 chip bet on the 16-1 odds.
sure, so you put 100 chits on Moonstrike.
Yeah, I'm going to put 1 on the 3. 1 gold on the 3-1.
Sure thing. On to that is Star Shadow. Anyone else placing any bets?
Can't hear you, Mary.
See. Oh.
Astra might put 1 on the weather one.
Sure, on
The 25 chits.
Storm Rider.
She fucking
Yeah.
loves storms.
Yeah. Maybe an apple will grace him or something.
It would seem like you have to predict the weather as much as you have to predict how each driver is going to drive. Like if it's moon, the moon guy might be better. If it's windy, the wind guy might be better. If it's a hot day, the fire guy might be better.
I mean, it could also be a scam, and they could be, you know, faking it all to move money around.
True. So in that sense, you ought to bet on the person that's most likely to lose.
Yes, I just picked it because big number, big money. Yes.
Also means the least likely to win, though.
Who's the second least likely to win?
We love an underdog.
That's Swift Shade. They're on a 12 to 1.
Hmm.
I'll
I'll
put
put 20 chits on that guy.
Cyrus, I'll give you 100 chits to put on that guy. Simply to compete for the best loser.
Thank you. So I'm gonna remove 20 and you remove 80? Or are you just betting twice?
I'll just transfer you the 100.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, so I'll bet on the 12 to 1?
Righty. So you watch as the vehicles kind of line up the starting line. There's this big like burp, burp, bing, and then like everyone takes off. You see that Sunfire kicks off immediately with his huge blast of fire behind them, which leaves their opponents in the dirt as they kind of like begin taking off. You see Swift Shade vanish, Moonstrike kind of trundling along in the rear. You see Storm Rider begin to conjure water on that first turn, which sends Sunfire careening off. They're going way too fast. They slip on the reins, skid off, and it comes winding around. You see Leaf Swift beginning to gain up on Star Shadow Wind Whisper, who now have fallen back into first and second place, kind of fighting neck and neck for most of it. And as the race goes on, and there's about 5 laps for each race. And as it kind of comes up to that final 5th lap, you would see Wind Whisper and Star Shadow seem to have this one in the bag. They've left the majority of the pack behind. And that is when you see, after a very good series of corners and catching up and bending, Leaf Swift actually manages to make up a real sufficient amount of time. And just as you think the Wind Whisper and Star Shadow going into a photo finish, you would suddenly see their vehicles both almost like slam on the brakes and stop dead as 2 grasping vines have fired out from Leaf Swift's vehicle, grabbed onto them, and then you watch as they also like come to an almost complete stop, wheels spinning, smoke billowing up behind them as Leaf Swift almost like slingshots himself in between the middle and just across the line. You're like, ladies and gentlemen, we just see Leaf Swift come out from nowhere, and it's like, complete disbelief. So Leaf Swift takes the first race. You see all the stats update. Like things up on the side. You see some people like sigh, lose. You see people complaining, people leaving, things like that.
Which one was that one?
That was the nature elf who had like all the vines and
What
things
was
like that.
what's against that one?
She was 5 to 1.
Not a bad one. If you want it.
I definitely think we should observe more before betting again.
See the odds regenerate. Sunfire is out of this race because they are. You see that they've had some damage to the vehicle, so they need to get some repairs done. Wind Whisper and Star Shadow still both see their 3 to 1 and 2 to 1 odds. You see that Leaf Swift has actually gone up to a 4 to 1 odds to win. Storm Rider also has gone up to 8 to 1, and even Moonstrike has gone up to 13 to 1 for the bottom, and Storm Rider is on a 6 to 1 at the minute.
So another 1 gold on the 3 to 1.
Sure.
Yes.
Any other bets for anyone else?
Not this time.
Run out of money already?
Wind Whisper takes his second
Technically,
race.
Barrel's paid for the first one. I'm just waiting to see if I can assess further to increase my chances next time.
You see, unfortunately, Wind Whisper takes this race for you, Bulgir, so you unfortunately do not win your bet back.
Nope.
Yeah, and this can happen. If you 10 laps or so, it's been some time. Eventually, you hear the door to your private booth open. Turning around, you see the recognizable form of Falkras Sazerac. This Male, like dry, long white hair, dressed quite finely for the occasion. You see, he has to his left and right a step behind him. He has one of these large, two individuals who are like straddling him, like not straddling him, they're
Whoa,
following him
Jesus.
in his step.
Hey, they're actors. You never know.
They're
You're
kind of
an
like
actor.
they're kind of both a step behind,
Trying.
one left, one right.
Yeah.
Kind of looking over his shoulder. One of them is carrying what appears to be a very nice leather handbag, and the other is carrying a white silk sun umbrella. Both of them are huge, hulking, almost vaguely bear-like humanoids. White, long fur, snarling faces, a little hunch to them, and they've kind of like follow behind with their white, shaggy fur that covers their whole bodies. Some of you would recognize the individuals from like stores and things like that, but I think very rarely would any of you have actually seen one of them.
Can I do a check to see if I've seen one of them?
Do a little history check.
I've seen one now, so
I've seen one now.
11. You're not sure. They're definitely, the way they hold themselves, they're not like beasts. They're definitely still humanoid despite their bestial nature.
You managed to lick that, just so you know.
They are standing about 6.5 foot tall, each of them. Even with their big hunch. Oh, good, you're here.
What is with the furry entourage?
This is Fee and this is Foe. They are my slaves. They attend to my needs. Hello,
Can
Fee.
we
Hello,
get you a
Foe.
drink?
Say hello. Hello. Hi there. Yes, I would love one, please. What are you all having?
Me and Volgir are having eel. The other three are having wine. Fancy wine that Atlas would very much like anyone to try.
It's not
She
that I would
it comes
like
highly
anyone to try
recommended.
it. I just think that it's very good wine.
Then I will try some wine. Fee, Foe, you may have a shandy each if you like. You may make it yourself. Thank you, sir. Yes, thank you, sir. And they move over to the bar. They will prep his drink as well, unless someone has prep it for them.
Well, Cyrus was going to offer to pour his drink for him.
That's
They-
fine.
they'll let
He
you
has
do it.
slaves.
If not, they will be doing it for him.
Present his glass to him.
Takes it. Thank you so very much. So, you have asked me here, and here I am. What is the occasion, request, behest? I assume there must be something that Elwyn has been looking done if she sent you all to gather me and...
But she didn't send us.
Oh,
We met her in a tavern.
Call it an opportunity to speak to you in private. Atlas,
hard
it
enough
is.
to find.
Atlas, it is your fairy. Do you want to trying to explain?
Sounds stupid when I say it out loud.
How did you come up with the idea of the hidden brother? What was the inspiration for it?
Or the inspiration for the play in general, I suppose.
Well, it was a, I wish to express the sometimes overbearing nature of a few members of the council, and perhaps their opinions about races, things like half-elves and things in particular. Not the oppression or anything like that, but more just the... Some members definitely hold some preferences, I would say. I was simply trying to highlight one, but choice of an evil twin brother gives me a nice, plausible deniability to any of that kind of thing. And of course, if you tell anyone I told you this, I would of course say how untrue that is, and you'd spear your word against mine, and my word holds a fair bit of weight.
What do you think of the Ascension and all that?
Can't say I'm super excited. I have a lot of repeat business and also repeat actors and things that come and go and join the group every now and again before heading off somewhere else from Chemnor here. I'd rather stay personally. But I can see the appeal of a wider audience, a wider chance to expand. There's definitely interesting potential, I would say, ascending. If it works, which we are yet to see any proof of. We've been told it can be done.
I guess he doesn't know anything. It was just a red herring.
Maybe not just asking it pointed enough.
I feel like point blank asking someone if they're on the side of terrorists is a weird question.
No.
She says
Or if they're-
aloud.
If you're looking for terrorists, pie makers would be my first go-to.
Is that a code, or do you literally mean talk to the bakers?
I'm afraid I don't know what you mean.
It's always the pie maker.
Look, I just write, direct, act, fund, and star in some of the best stories that dance across the imagination and the minds of the populace of this city. I feel like if most of them knew I was a drow behind them, that opinion of me would sour slightly. Yet, here I am.
So just to confirm, you had 0 outside influence / ideas for the reason of that play.
Besides names and places, I'm pretty sure I came up with it all on my own.
Life imitates art.
Anyone else inciting or?
Yeah, I'll insight. as
Yeah,
well.
I am
I'll
inciting the
that.
shit out of this guy.
I'm
Oh,
inciting
for
that
fuck's
last
sake.
question.
I'm going to
I'm
pistol
not very
dice.
good at the insight, but I'll give
Never
it a
mind.
go.
I am also.
Apparently, I am very good at the insight.
I am
on
normally
this
good
guy.
at the
yes.
insight, but I am not today.
This guy gets a
The-
plus
Ryan,
5, so
you're
his
me.
18 will still be beaten by Cyrus and Vulgar. You believe he is definitely been pulling more things than simply names and places from the inspiration of the story, but for a bunch of strangers with ties to the council as far as he's aware, he's spilling quite little.
I don't know if it'll be silly or not. Okay, out of character, Ash is just thinking of like dying or playing with the bracelet in front of him that the Dryad's tears gave her.
Yeah, see how he reacts.
Okay. Astra will do that, just subtly, but not quite right. So he can see,
Flash
but
it past as you do your hair or
Yeah.
something like that kind of idea.
yeah, like if she's playing with Pip, but the bracelet just jangles.
I'd say with Cyrus and Vulgar's inside checks and your passive inside Astra, even though you rolled in that one earlier. Talks it, acknowledges it, but doesn't push any question or remark on it. But definitely has like a little like long stare of recognition that like a few beats too long to be.
Is it? Can I insight that to see if it's a like a stare of
Sure.
like repulsiveness or like a stare of acknowledgement? If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Go for it.
Come on. I know fuck all.
Just clearing my throat so my voice doesn't break at my next line.
He stared straight through. He didn't even notice the bracelet.
So how does a drow end up here, huh?
Airship primarily. Little joke of mine. Let's just say down below, it's quite difficult for someone with artistic wants and whims to be truly appreciated. So whenever I got the opportunity to ascend, I took it. Here I am. People in these cities, they are more on the same wavelength than I am. Down there, it's more, you know,
Murder. Spiders.
I was going to say strength and zeal, but a little bit of murder and spiders wouldn't be inaccurate.
You kind of get those anywhere, I suppose.
Spiders or murder?
Both.
Both.
I don't think my planet has spiders left on it.
Does your
What
planet have anything
happens to
with
the
it?
flies?
I don't know. I think the deer eat them.
Your planet sounds freakier and freakier every time you talk about it.
My planet is a good example of what happens when people stand by and let the big guy make the decisions.
And that's why
Every
we
time you
shouldn't
speak
trust
about your
the
planet, it
government.
makes me want to go back to the mine.
It's a nice place.
At
Or
least I
will
knew I
be,
wasn't going
eventually.
to get eaten by the deer or whatever the hell you were.
So, there's
Whatever
probably
that
other things
is.
on your planet that would eat you.
Yeah, but at
You
least I'll
guys can
try
get
and
down on your high horse. Lives in a planet that has to be entirely underground so you don't die. Comes from a planet of eternal war. The Fae is very nice. I can't say anything against Barros.
Exactly, I was going to
sounds
say,
great.
we don't have anything that kills us, just things that want to fuck us.
And then kill you.
that could be a bad thing in the same sense.
My world didn't choose to be in an eternal war, but if we weren't in the eternal war would have spread much more quickly throughout the expanse.
My
and
world
everything would
didn't
be
choose
dead.
to be a toxic, polluted wasteland. You realize that? It's not like we were like, ooh, what if half of our planet just died in a cataclysm? Fun.
Yeah, but maybe if you had decided to fight the gnomes or whoever it was with their industry, you would have been able to prevent or slow the decay of the
Hey,
planet.
Cyrus, come close.
Hey.
Come close.
Uh-oh.
Closer.
Uh-oh.
Shut the fuck up about my planet when you don't know anything about it, or I will rip your guts out while you sleep.
Atlas.
You're all most
Let me
delightful company.
Atlas. Do you want to get the plight of your planet or city out there? More well known.
Yeah, of course. That's why I'm doing all this. Well, not this. This kind of got off the rails a little bit, but that's why I'm hauling around 7 books worth of literature studies and documents.
Maybe a certain someone might be kind enough to write a playwright about it, potentially.
I don't think elves would care much for the plight of Aarakocra and Owlin.
No, but other Greek.
But the
other races
flying
would.
stunts you could do on stage would be excellent.
I mean, even if it wasn't as we gave a shit about the plights of other races, you could simply frame it in the lens of elves instead.
True.
Always like a big fan of a guttural reveal at the end. It was one time, a good few hundred years ago, back in the Underdark, whenever we were there, I did a show about how a drow had found himself enslaved by the high elves and was forced to do their bidding, and the drow had been in this world. The drow had been beaten by the high elves in war and enslaved by them. And then at the end, I revealed that it was in fact because it was not of the drow, but it was of the drow were the high elves in that situation, and the quagoffs, gesturing to his 2 slaves, were the drow, or the slaves, and how it was wrong for us to crush them and to take full control of their species and race, wipe out their family and ability to breed in safe spaces, and all of those more problems. Outline them clearly as issues for everyone, and that's how I got kicked out of the Underdark with 2 drow, with 2 quagoff slaves to remind me of my hubris, as it were. What a shame. Isn't that right, Fee and Foe? Yes, that's so they drink little shandies in the back. Terribly, horribly oppressed, those things whipped daily, I assure you.
Well, as
idea.
Atlas said earlier, it is funny how life imitates art sometimes. Do you ever think that it's possible that there could be more than one Archmagus type leader? Someone that could rival her?
You mean like another political candidate? I would imagine so. That's how most ocracies work, whether they magocracy, democracy,
Or like an
theocracy.
evil identical twin. Or a good identical
Not
twin,
necessarily an
depending
evil
on who you
identical
think's
twin,
evil.
but an opposite.
Antithesis in every way.
A mirror, yeah. A mirrored individual.
Possible. But those kind of things normally only happen in fantasy, in make-believe, they don't happen in real life, you know? That's why we go to theatre, that's why we go watch them. If real life was as interesting as that, why would we pay to go see the theatre? Hey, everyone, inside check.
Inside check.
Yeah, go for it.
Bite mad.
Inside this fucker every 5 seconds.
Cyrus
I'll
is
take
trying to
that.
get back on track
I'll
from
take that inside
insulting
check.
each other and
I'm
trying
going
like
nat 20, natural
drive
nat
the-
20.
remember why we're here.
Sorry, Atlas is too busy trying to beat the shit out of you with her mind.
Yeah, he's aware of it, but he's ignoring it because he's got a job to do.
Volgir and Asher, you believe that this individual seems to have a fair bit of knowledge about the potential twin that you were hinting at.
Yeah.
But again, perhaps given the circumstances, they're, you know, the booth that they're in currently, the situation they find themselves in, they're definitely being more coy than open.
Oh, maybe we should get back to the betting races. Enjoy both while we have it.
Of course.
Yes, I do believe I have some stupid betting decisions to make and lose all my cheats. And then I'd be like, Cyrus, no cheats at all.
I still have some chits left. But yes, we'll both be broke.
Any chance we can find out about the next play in the work, or is that under lock and key?
Next, the next play, well, it's there's a few. Go.
Take that as a
Sylvia's
no.
right here, and if I look at her directly in the eyes, I can just see them spelling popcorn.
They give me food. Nell would be snorting at me until I give her something.
I can just see her the corner of my eye, her head moving with like every time I move the popcorn, her head moves with it.
No.
Does she do a steppy step, try to get closer, and then sits again?
She slowly sidles.
Yeah.
Also, sometimes she sits down and butt shuffles up to you because she thinks you won't notice.
Yeah. Nell does that.
While kind of everyone's kind of distracted with other things, I'll kind of lean into Atlas and just be like, do we trust him enough to just say what the fuck we're doing? Like, this doesn't seem to be going anywhere. We're just kind of dancing around the idea of, oh, do we trust them? Do we not? Are we on the same side? Worst case scenario, we kill him and the furry creatures.
He did say that it would be his word against ours and his word holds more weight, but they kind of already know that we're bad guys, so, you know, go for it.
All that notoriety negation negated.
Cards on the table.
Right. Fuck it. Cards on the table.
Yes.
I don't care if we're on the same side. I'm hoping that you are, but essentially, we're trying to figure out what the best situation here is without fucking killing as many fucking non-high elves as possible and saving as many people. And that is either getting rid of the Arzomegas, because apparently she might be a bit of a tyrant, or the captain of the Watchers, if your play has any truth, and replacing them with potentially some magic Ooga Booga twin, as I understand it.
We're not a fan of people getting slaughtered in the streets. We don't think the Ascension is a good idea, although we don't want to fight against it if the people want it. But basically, we're scared that the people are being trodden down to the mush. And we're wondering if you are pro the people or pro the agocracy.
Foe, check the room, please. Oh, yes, sir. See them begin moving around. Things checking. While I do, he remains in silence, sips his wine, calmly looking down on the races as they run past. You can see him actively place a bet during this time.
What does he bet on?
I'll go bet on the same thing he does, yeah. Same.
Bet on it quick.
I'll put 500 chits on whatever he bets on.
Yeah. He puts a fairly substantial bet on the fairly safe. It's actually 5-1 odds for Star Shadow to win the next race. He puts 5-1 on Star Shadow to win.
I'll put 2 gold down.
I'll put 500 chits down.
Sure.
Oh.
Who's at the bottom at the minute? In the rankings.
In the rankings, it is currently Stormrider, and they are on 12-1. No.
Cyrus will put 50 chits on them.
Astro put another 25 on, just for the name.
Yep, you put number 25 on. Unfortunately, for all of you, all lose. Wind Whisper takes another win. Their odds are now evens for the next race. They're doing very well today, it seems.
I'm getting annoyed with this fucking person. Might go down there and talk about themselves at this rate.
The entire time the Quags are checking the room and everyone's betting and shit, Atlas is just staring this drow down.
He doesn't really break. Like, he breaks your eye contact to look at the race.
I mean, she can't really make eye contact because she has a mask on and he can't see her eyes, but the mask is pointing at him the entire time.
I'm going to 2 gold again on the same one again.
On the on
Same as
Star
last
Shadow.
time. Yeah.
Good thing.
What's the odds this time?
They're up to 3-1 now. Looks like
We've only got
2 different
100.
I'll make it 3 then.
Anyone else? Any more bets?
And I'll put 50 bits
Who's at 5?
on the one that's won
There was a
every other
5 to
single
1?
one at this point.
Yeah, so Wind Whisper's at 2-1. Star Shadow's at 3-1. Leaf Swift
Actually,
is a
no,
6-1.
Never mind. Never mind. Just
Yeah,
stick with
screw it.
this
I'll put 25 on Leaf Swift.
Sure. You put 3 gold, you said, on Star Shadow, Volgear?
Yeah.
Yep, they take the risk. So you get 9 back.
Yeah.
After a few races, the Quagoffs come back around. It seems clear. Good. Right. Let's try that again. Now that we know we're maybe in a bit more quiet surroundings for definite. You want to know what I feel about the Mageocracy, the people? A lot of questions thrown at me there. What should we start with?
Do you truly think the Ascension is a good idea?
I am honestly not sure. I can see benefits from it, but I can also see negatives from it. I would say whatever it is, it feels rushed. Whether it's good, bad, but rushed. And after what I've seen with a few instances of how the Watchers are behaving, I don't know what's happening up in that council, but maybe there's someone trying to make a power grab or something, but something's going weird up there.
Your opinion of the Archmage?
She's been Archmage for a good while now. She's made a lot of good choices, good decisions. Recently, they've started becoming a bit more heavy-handed, I could say. If you asked me 100 years ago what I thought of her, I would say I think she was doing very well and put faith in what she was doing. More recently, I would struggle to give that same response. I would probably say she's being fucking stupid. But again, like I said, I think there's something going on in that council. There's a reason this is suddenly being pushed. Odd. Dryad's tears, who they're blaming for it and all, I think it's a convenient timing.
So, from your knowledge, this has not been going on for months and months.
No, I'm sure they have been working on it, but it seems weird to turn around to your general populace and say, hey, in 20 days, we're going to leave the planet. That's not, hey, in a month from now, we're going to change course by 45 degrees and go over these new cities and places like they normally would. It almost feels a bit rushed.
When we first met the Archmagus, she claimed she saw a vision from the gods about an ascension, transformation. This is where her star, astral, celestial form, whatever you want to call it, came from, when she became an astral elf.
And that the high elves were going to take the position of those the gods talk to. AKA the Aarakocra and Owlin just got fired.
It's a very strange thing that some people so quiet would suddenly become so vocal to one person alone and no one else, breaking tradition of what they'd done for so long. I would be hesitant to believe that it was them.
I'd be inclined to believe that too. Like, I'm a cleric and all the thing I get is feelings.
You can't lie, though. Something has happened to her. She is not a high elf anymore, or at least if she is. She's got very good contacts and a makeup artist to rival some of my best.
She believed the gods talked to her. She believed it 100%. I think something talked to her. I don't think it's a god.
It's
It
very
could have been a
easy to
higher
make
being.
people believe what you've told them.
Suppose you know all about that.
But I'm not even talking about the theatrics. I am a bit of a minstrel. I delve myself in a lot of different of arts of performance, and in doing so, I have unlocked some arcane potential in that as well. I can speak to someone in private, have conversations with them, alter their memory so they never even knew what they told me, and make them think we had a much more wholesome discussion than we did.
You're not going to do that to us, right?
I haven't quite decided yet.
Okay.
So, you learned this ability through practice or will? You saying she manifested her own change?
I don't think she would have done it to herself. I don't think, at least the way I know it, if you were to do it to yourself, you would actually lose your own focus and forget what you were doing, and thus it would never be able to fully complete and would not take hold. I'm thinking more someone gave her this, whatever it was, either by warping her dreams or by altering her memory to make her think it happened. But I've no proof. I'm sure that the Majocracy have various wards and things like that to stop things like that happening. So maybe I'm completely barking up the wrong tree. It's not really my department. But if I had to base on my own repertoire, that's what I would do if I wanted to make someone think they had been by the gods.
It has to be something higher. Maybe not a god, but it has to be something more powerful than they've ever dealt with. If an entire city of mages could not detect what has got control over, and her astral form, it's nothing like I've ever seen before.
Well, whatever did it to her and whatever the reason for her change, she obviously maybe didn't fully believe it herself. She obviously had some form of doubt, otherwise she wouldn't have split herself in two.
Maybe she didn't do it.
What, you
Maybe
think
it would
somebody else split her in two?
It
If
sounds
someone can
like
wipe
you're
her
looking
memory.
for a... Now, perhaps I've swayed this terribly for you, but I've written many murder mystery plays on stage. One of them is doing quite well in the amphitheater at the moment. If you're looking for someone, you're looking for motive to gain the most. by ascending a city to Expanse? I legitimately don't know the answer to that, but that would be the question I'd be asking as an audience member, as a writer, insight into a character.
A very
Benefits.
hungry meteor spider who wants an entire city as a snack.
Possible.
Or the Draconians.
What would they
What
gain?
would they
from having it
gain?
That's one very interesting theory.
War.
Ida.
She was
They
often
already have
speaking
war.
of a way in to the amalgamate, maybe? I don't know. She said reaching the Expanse would be the opportunity to step away from the amalgamate and join the Draconians. Maybe
Somebody in the amalgamate doesn't want them in anymore.
Maybe.
Or the other way around, someone's trying to steal them from the amalgam.
Very good theories. Again, theories I can't confirm or deny because I genuinely don't know, but that's what I would be asking if I was you and trying to... It sounds like you're not overly sure either. I think you are leaning more on the side of they are evil and warped and wrong, and what they're doing is going to be bad. So that's what I've kind of leaned into myself in this side, but
I'm also leaning towards the thing of what will happen. Irrespective of whether they're bad or good, if you get rid of one thing to find another, what are you going to find?
quite right. But look, regardless of whatever happens, whether we go to the Expanse, or we stay on course, or we crash land in the ocean or the wilderness, or wherever it is, whatever happens, be here, some level.
We need to investigate some more. It's just what
It's where to start.
go back to the simulacrum.
We could go deeper. We could go to the Great Library. Maybe there is something deep within those archives that can tell us
It's an
maybe
idea.
what started all of this.
They say history repeats.
It is got to be one of the largest libraries, on this planet. Surely it had something to do with whatever she has become.
Or we could just get
She-
the hell out of this city.
We got
I like that last idea.
I'm just
we
saying.
got, but what then?
I don't know. But if we're this torn over what we're meant to do, maybe we're not meant to be the ones deciding.
Hmm.
Maybe we give it a few days, see what we can find. If nothing turns a leaf, we still have time to leave.
Okay.
But
Well-
essentially, we've got to find ourselves a god, and they don't exist apparently.
Well, whatever it is you decide, I wish you all the luck. You know where to find me if you need me for anything else. The Amphitheater of Tilm is always open to donations.
One
Thank
final
you for your
question.
assistance.
Can Cyrus have your autograph?
Of course.
Cyrus will pull out a parchment from her bag. For us.
They will lean down, kind of like hum a little tune as they do so the quill springs to life. You watch as it etches across, you see this big, like, F. Brazak. Big flourish under it.
Takes it, folds it up, puts it in his pocket.
If you find yourself in hard times, you can probably charge a good 100 chits for that, I would say.
Thank you.
Thank you for rising some ideas to the top of my head. Lots to think about.
Write a play about us. I want royalties.
Well, I would not rather play about any of you. I'd rather play about 5 mischievous elves who've come to a sky city to overthrow the government, or change the plans of a party, or simply to fuck off and leave it all alone.
The third one sounds boring.
Does. Probably wouldn't make a play.
Depends on what we do next.
If you do, luck, I'm sure I'll see you around. But I really need to go. I have another show in under an hour, and I need to get back into costume, makeup, illusion.
I'm just going to say
We
before
will
this.
come by and
If
see
you
it.
do that play, you could let the crowd decide which way they go. Have three
Interesting
possible
choice.
endings.
I wonder how you'd have to have maybe like parchment that could be collected at the interval. Maybe it begs to think. I'll certainly think. of it.
Maybe hollow strap?
Maybe.
Hollow strap vote.
Yes, hologram will link it up live.
Choose your own adventure.
Or whoever screams louder.
That's
Like
just a
that
panto.
Ah,
thing.
yes, pantomime, very good.
Cyrus has never seen one.
Oh, you really should. They are
I
probably
don't know what
the
it is.
best work that has come out of the Shadowfell in some time.
Well, if I get the chance to see one, I'll see one.
Yes, it's been a bit warped since we went through Lush, but when I saw one originally on Harbinger when I had the chance when I was still traveling, and my goodness, when the crowd yelled, "It's behind you," I was cleaning viscera out of my ears for weeks. Talk about murder on stage. The pantomime on Harbinger, it puts the gladiators here to shame. Anyway, I'll leave you with it. Goodbye. And he rises up. Beefo, let's go. Great master. And they follow after him.
Oh, just before you leave, any tips for the next race?
Put it all on Moonstrike. Why not? Bound to win at some point.
I'll put
fuck
gold
it.
on Moonstrike.
Cyrus will put 50 on Moonstrike, sure.
I'm putting one.
Moonstrike has 14 to 1 odds.
Eros will look at his 500 remaining chits. Do I do it?
How about I put all that I have in 75 chits?
Oh,
And I put all I have in.
No, how about you?
500 chits! On
Looks like Volgia is
the-
paying for accommodation for these two tonight.
You already are.
Eros will put 500 chits on the moon.
Oh,
Racer.
God.
Alice will help herself to another glass of fancy wine. She feels that maybe they will be staying in significantly less fancy establishments for a while.
Yeah, I think Cyrus is going to pour himself a whiskey for this one.
As you
Yeah, same.
batten down, you
I'm going to
sit.
also go. Last second, I'm going to up it to 2 at the very last second.
Yep. So you're there, you're watching the race, just as all bets locked in, it starts. You watch Moonstrike there, gaining, trying to like work their way from the back of the ranks where they've been the whole game. They make some good leads, good gains, and you get so enthralled about that. You see them take the front of the pack, and as they fly across the line, you scream in panic and extension and enthusiasm, only to realize that Wind Whisper had crossed the line 20 seconds ago, and they came second.
Ah.
Oh.
I feel like you as
Right.
celebrating Alice is like, why are you cheering?
Fuck it. Same again.
Let it ride.
I can't afford it anymore.
Right, I'm going to swipe a couple of bottles of wine.
I'm putting 2 on again.
On
I might
Moonstrike
have to
again.
sell these.
Yeah, actually, sorry, I'll put 1 on.
You put 1 on Moonstrike. Unfortunately, Leaf Swift takes the next round, 4 to 1 odds. The 14 to 1 Moonstrike does not seem to win.
I'll be somewhere. I'll do 50 and then 1 on something like 4 to 1 odds or 3 to 1 odds. Trend.
Yeah, the second place at the minute is Star Shadow with 5 to 1, or first place is Wind Whisper on 1 to 2. Moonstrike at the minute is on 14 to 1.
So I'm taking out the. You say 2 to 1, 3 to 1.
It's 1 to 2,
16.
5 to 1, and then it goes 6 to 1, 7 to 1, 9 to 1.
I'll do
10 to
5 to 1. obviously our funny friend. So 1 gold on 5 to 1 and 5 silver on the other one.
You're sad to see Star Shadow get overtaken, but relieved to see it is when it is by Moonstrike, who literally 14 to 1 odds. There it is. Wins. George can never check my screen anyway at any time.
So add 7 gold.
7 gold back.
Well, is it 7 gold or is it 7.5? Because you get your original bet back, don't you?
Yeah, you get your original back as well. So.
So and add 1 gold from earlier as well, because I forgot to do it earlier. Alright. And then I'm just going to stick it safe, just randomly put a gold on, like, every so often.
You keep topping it up. You'll finish your drinks, pocket some bottles of wine and things, and eventually you head out before the evening gets too late. Is there anything else you'd like to do this day?
Check. Scout and check our notoriety scores.
Yes.
Certainly. Spend a bit of time. You spend that final time segment before you rest at the Bit and Bridle, and you find that your current notoriety score has dropped from when you had last done it, because you spent a bit of time kind of like
Suspicious.
being suspicious looking around. It has dropped to 10. You are still at a point where guards recognize you and kind of like are aware of your goings on, but you're very much on that threshold where if you wait any longer, you'll probably find that is not the case.
They're watching us, but they're kind of bored.
They like spot, like, it's like when you walk past and they go, "Oh, we know them guys."
There's
But
not
they
like
can't be
an
anything about it.
APB out, but there's more like, keep an eye on these, like,
If you see them,
yeah.
keep an eye
It's
on
like,
it.
they're just on the bus again, for God damn it.
Just going round in circles on the bus. This is
Yeah,
the
they're
7th
coming-
time
they're
I've
coming
seen
out
them on the bus.
accident. The tall one and the goat don't seem very happy, but the dwarf seems quite happy. Guess he made some money.
Finish making your way back to the Brit and Bridle, where you have rooms all settled out, and you bed down a long rest if you so wish, unless there's anything else you'd like to do this evening.
I think
Are you
probably
going
having a discussion about like what next might be a good idea
Certainly do that.
before we sleep.
To Volgar's room.
Get drunk when
To
you discuss
Volgar's
silver.
room.
It's always in Volgar's
Can I
room.
look round to see if there's anything in my room that looks like it,
Moved suspiciously.
that's been moved in any way, shape, or form? Considering I keep my room immaculate, and can I also look for
Perception
listening
check.
devices at the same time?
Perception check, please.
Oh, do I get advantage because my room's kept immaculate?
I will say yes, because you've established the
That everything has its place.
The OCD rule.
the OCD that Volgar has. This will mean that anytime things are not in place, Volgar is going to like suffer like this like exhaustion
Yeah.
levels. He's mentally exhausted. Out of an 11 Volgar, it all looks as you left it.
Cool.
The little pin you left on top of your door hasn't been disturbed, things like that.
Yeah. The corner left on the bed is still as a corner. I feel like Volgar does, when you make the bed and you peel back one
Like
of
a
the
little
corners
bit of the
ever so
bed to
slightly.
expose it.
He has it measured so that the corners always.
Yeah, it's one
Like
of
a
Volgar's arm
perfect
lengths, so you'd
right
never get it
angle.
perfect. You'd never get it perfect unless you were Volgar, because Volgar's got it to arm length or something like that.
It's like a perfect, like, equilateral triangle.
He's
So,
OCD about certain things, not about all of them.
so apparently we're back to square one.
I feel like heading to the library is a good idea. Even just researching more history about this place.
Plus going to the library and seeing all the paperwork being filed might tell us how eager people are to get out of here.
That is true. Although I think we do need to find a bit of way to maybe make some money while we're here.
I made plenty of money, I don't know what you're on about.
Betting on the chariot races is mostly luck by the seams of it. It just seems whoever's in the zone during that race is going to win.
I've still got that collar if any of you are getting desperate.
No, I don't. I think it's too soon to whore you out.
I was going to say,
I was
Harry,
talking about
by
whoring
winning,
you out, but sure.
Was there any sort of pattern to the winning? Is there anything you probably used to predict it? From me staring at it until we left.
It seemed like it was just like a randomly generated series of numbers that were being pumped
God's
into a
sake.
system to see the odds, and then those odds are being read out to you again. Yes, there was some elemental factors into it, but they were all factored into the odds. So you could go a day on a full moon, and Moonstrike might be on fucking like 1 to 4.
Like I said, pure luck.
Well,
But if we can find a way to make money, then that would probably be good. But trying
Yes.
to find legal money and as an adventurer.
Yeah, I don't want to be paying for the entire party.
I could see about getting some kind of work as a laborer at the docks.
Quaid wants assistance, or they pay for assistance.
Why don't we just go see if there's a job board or something somewhere around town?
I
Or is
don't
there
lost
like a
cat.
thing on the hollow
Let's
shop?
go to the Dole office.
Is that like something like a job board or
What
a
do you
hollow
mean
shop
I have
type
too many
thing?
chits in my bank account?
I mean, Volga, you know the fastest way to find work in a town. Go to a busy bar, ask the barkeep, anyone, when you call out for work, things like that. It's an
I
old
was about to
reliable
say,
method.
yeah.
Some of them have job
Oh.
boards and bounty boards, yes, but like some of them,
Yeah.
if you're
Do
looking
that,
for
then.
mercenaries, normally you put the call it in a bar, Or a
I don't
tavern.
really know how to find a job. I've never had one before.
The problem is majority of the majority of the things nowadays will probably be people looking for escorts off the place. Off the island. So,
I mean, it might mean a free trip off if we need it.
yeah.
Well, if a lot of people decide to leave, that means there will be a shortage of employees as well. So if we wanted to stay
Do we-
here for as long as possible, finding
So
work
maybe
might be
tomorrow?
that difficult.
So maybe tomorrow we go look for a bit of work then? Go look in different places, maybe going... Well, I was going to say pairs, but can't go in pairs.
Maybe spend the morning in the library. Actually,
We could get a
keeping
job in
this
the
thing.
Well,
library.
why don't a couple of people go work and go to the library?
Sure.
I'm happy enough to go and look for work. I don't think I'll be overly useful in the library.
I'll go keep him out of trouble. You want me?
I mean, I'm happy to work or go to the library.
Yeah, I could do either, but I'm more than happy to keep Cyrus
I
out
mean,
of trouble.
you
Well,
don't
I
need,
believe if you tag along, I'm more likely to get into trouble, so
Hey,
maybe your investigation skills would be better served in the library.
also you don't need the chits.
nah, I could always use some more chits. I'm going to end up paying for you guys, aren't I?
I pay my own way.
I don't mean you. I mean these two. I'm just going to point it
That's
better
why
off
I'm
Cyrus.
going to look for work.
I'll probably head to the library.
Right. So 3 of us, library, them 2. Work. Just don't get yourselves in a bit of trouble.
Will try my best.
I remember it's only temporary.
Plans set in place. You bed down for the night, rest up. If anyone has used anything,
Before
you can long
Cyrus
rest.
goes to sleep, he's going to sit on the bed, look at Alice, and be like, "Are you going to try and stab me in my sleep?"
Like tonight specifically, or
Tonight more so specifically, but also in general would be nice to know.
that depends. Do you insist on continuing to speak badly of my planet, my gods, and my family?
I'll keep gods off the table. We all know how I feel about that. I'll not speak badly of your family. And you also insulted my planet first before I insulted yours.
Now, to be fair, your planet sucks.
Yeah, it does. Truce.
I will accept that school is maybe not the home that people would choose. that its flora and fauna may be frightening or even disturbing to some. But it is the most important thing in the world to me. And when people are impolite about it, it hurts. I want nothing more in the world than to save my planet. I have to save my planet. Every fiber of my being needs to save that planet.
I know.
But it's nice to think, even as it is, even ugly and broken, it could be loved. So, I've worked very hard to love it.
Then I apologize for insulting your planet.
I won't stab you in your sleep. Oh, promises you won't wake up a slug, though.
Good night, Alice.
Good night.
I imagine the voice crack was actually Cyrus a little bit, because loving broken things, it strikes a chord with him.
You'll bed down, rest, and arise at a new morning. And it's nearly 11. Are people good to keep going, or is that where people want to get
I
some
mean, that's probably a
rest?
good place to leave
me
it.
and
I've got work.
Yeah, we're up early tomorrow for airport, so.
And there is where she will call it, and we'll see you next time. Bye, bye.